Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Central banks urge G20 to back cheaper payments roadmap. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're a central bank and you want to find out how you could have cheaper payments, maybe you should talk to Ripple and find out how XRP can be used as a bridge currency and how RippleNet, in addition to that, can result in much more efficient messaging, taking out layers of middle management no longer needed to facilitate transactions, as is the case within the legacy correspondent banking system, which is just a chain of bilateral banking relationships. Maybe start there. That's just my advice. I'm just saying here. Going to run through this story, and I've also got this from dailyhodl.com, and it's titled, South Korean Crypto Platform Expands Borderless Payments Powered by Ripple to 12 Corridors. But before we go any further here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you just so happen to be a fan of Ripple and XRP, well, gosh darn it's lucky you stopped by here, because this is indeed an XRP-centric channel, so go ahead, do the right thing, and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It's the most productive thing you'll do all day. I promise you. You'll be able to sleep easy. You'll wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. These are all benefits that will come to you. Just subscribe. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this piece now. We'll start with the one from Daily Hodl. South Korean crypto platform expands borderless payments powered by Ripple to 12 corridors. CoinOne Transfer, the subsidiary of the South Korean crypto exchange platform CoinOne, says it's reaping the benefits of its partnership with Ripple. The retail remittance service has expanded borderless payments powered by Ripple to 12 corridors. In a customer video, Camille Jung, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm giving it the old college try. It's the business development manager of CoinOne Transfer, says the company's alliance with Ripple has helped its service grow from 2 corridors to 12 corridors in just over a year. And here's a quote now. Our first corridors were the Philippines and Thailand. Right now, we have over 12 corridors. We are seeing big growth at this moment, and within a year of launch, we are having an average monthly growth rate of over 50%. When we work with our partners on RippleNet, we can easily integrate with the solution, and also the operational cost is lower because we share standard processes. We can use the unified format for requests and remittances, so we can easily connect with our other partners. Now, CoinOne Transfer is not using XRP for transfers and has not indicated if it will use the digital asset in the future. The company is currently leveraging Ripple's messaging system, an enterprise solution that enables financial institutions to transfer funds across borders. But, as I always say here, what do you think will ultimately happen? If XRP can be used as a bridge currency to increase efficiency, lower cost, why would it not ultimately get used? Because there is no alternative solution that can achieve these things. It's just that's why I keep saying it's a no-brainer, but it's going to take time. But it is just a matter of time as regulatory clarity becomes less of an issue as that's worked out the world over, and as additional pools of liquidity come online, which of course are cryptocurrency exchanges. All this is getting figured out here. So what do you think's ultimately going to happen? Well, there's true utility to be had. So if I had to guess, XRP gets used at some point. I'm just saying here. All right. This next piece I got from XRP Crypto Wolf. So thank you very much, good sir, for sending this direct to my Twitter inbox. And this is from businesstimes.com, Banking and Finance. And this one's titled, Central Banks Urge G20 to Back Cheaper Payments Roadmap. So what do they have to say here? Because you know what I think. Talk to Ripple, damn it. Central banks will ask world leaders to back a roadmap for cutting the cost of cross-border payments, the Bank for International Settlement said on Sunday. The BIS wants Group of 20 G20 leaders to get behind the plan, which is being drawn up, and regulators, central banks, and treasury officials from across the world will lay out steps to improve a payment system hindered by high costs. And what do you think the odds are that their solution is going to involve a cryptocurrency? I don't know. If they're not talking to the right people, which would be Ripple, perhaps not. Political will is needed to create conditions for cheaper cross-border payments that are properly regulated at a time when international correspondent banks are pulling out from aiding such payments for local lenders. Cross-border payments critical for some emerging economies that depend on remittances sent by migrants abroad, are hampered by low speeds, high costs, and cumbersome processes. The roadmap will look at current costs, sticking points, and risks in payments and pinpoint how the private and public sectors can tackle them, the Basel-based BIS and umbrella group for central banks said. So they're just thinking, maybe this is something we should look into. It's 2020 now, and Ripple's been at this for the better part of a decade. Just saying. At least there's an acknowledgement that there's potentially a problem here, though. So step in the right direction. Little baby boo steps here. Now, in a rare move, the BIS devoted its quarterly review to payments in a sign of how Facebook's plans to launch its Libra cryptocurrency has forced central banks to look beyond their wholesale payment networks to changes in the retail sector. Facebook's planned expansion to retail payments has focused regulatory concern over the role of big tech in financial services, stoking debate over who will control money in the future. And so that's, in theory, what ultimately got them thinking down this path here. But again, here's the thing. They can study this all they want and put together task forces to figure out how are we going to fix this problem. But the truth of the matter is, if you want to fix the settlement portion of this, the only solution that humans have devised, period, is to use a cryptocurrency in place of in place of the traditional nostro vostro settlement system here. And that's it. And it purely comes down to trust. That is absolutely it, though. No other solution, period. So, again, investigate away, but unless you're going to do that, the best you could do is increase the inefficiencies with the messaging portion of the equation. But that's pretty much it. Now, here's a tweet that just a few tweets I want to share with you. There's an article from The Block titled 98% of Bitcoin mining machines will never produce a block, says PwC analyst. I'm not going to run through the article, but I just want to share with you a few thoughts here from a couple individuals. Shane Nixon tagged me, so shout out to you, good sir. I do appreciate that, along with some others, and wrote, just when you thought Bitcoin mining was a massive waste of energy, it's actually worse than thought. And Galgatron responded to this with two tweets. Here's the first one. It's kind of a FUD slant because even if those machines never find a solution, they still contribute to the overall hash rate and difficulty. Thus, they are actually participating in the security of the network. And this is a rare defense of Bitcoin by Galgatron here, who absolutely recognizes its shortcomings. Let's just state that. And I've covered his stances on the channel in the past there. But again, he's this type of guy that's always just trying to get to the truth anyway, so it's not like that's surprising. It's just when you're talking about the technical aspects of Bitcoin, it's hard to overlook some of the shortcomings, right? And then here's another tweet from him on this. Galgatron wrote, but what else would you expect from the creative geniuses behind crypto's worst-informed junk tabloid at The Block? So apparently he's not much of a fan. All right, next let's jump into this. This is from AMB Crypto, and it's titled CBDCs Validate the Value Proposition of Digital Money, says Grayscale CEO, with, of course, central CBDCs being central bank digital currencies. From a no Bitcoin narrative to intensely speculating the pros and cons of rolling out central bank digital currencies, the transformation in this regard has been monumental. CBDC awareness has been rising among leaders and policymakers around the globe. This was undoubtedly prompted by Facebook's Libra announcement and the subsequent development of the digital yuan in China. But let's face it, CBDCs are not similar to Bitcoin. As CoinShares' Meltem Demirs put it, Bitcoin and CBDCs are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Essentially, a CBDC is a digital form of a fiat currency of a particular nation or region and is issued and regulated by the competent monetary authority of the country. In a nutshell, the concept of central bank digital currency is centralized, whereas Bitcoin is decentralized. And of course, that's a fundamental difference. But there still are benefits to switching to this, central bank digital currencies relative to fiat currency, the way it is today. But talking about the differences in CBDC and Bitcoin, Barry Silbert, who is the founder and CEO of Grayscale, in a recent webinar hosted by Grayscale Investments, said, quote, I can assure you that when any of these central banks actually launch these CBDCs, they will not be capping the supply of the digital currency. Central banks love to print money, And I can also assure you that they will absolutely require users to use and engage with the existing financial system, and obviously, therefore, be subjected to all the associated costs and restrictions. Now, that's probably true, but I suspect for some reasons, costs will go down. You won't need as many middlemen necessarily. And, not that credit cards would necessarily go away. There's a legitimate desire on the part of many people to have credit and be able to push out payments and so on and so forth. But, you can't really have instantaneous real-world payments that are completely settled today. Utilizing, for instance, the U.S. dollars, there are intermediaries in place. And so this would be a fundamental change there, but interesting nonetheless. But that's it for this video. Thank you very much for stopping by. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because of anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!